You said one of them is equal.
Yes.
And what's the difference between this one and the same thing? 15. When you look to this one, what's the difference? I'm talking about as a solution. Yes, the difference, this is less than or equal, here is an equal. But as a solution, there's difference. Now, if I distribute the x here, it's going to be x squared minus 2x equal 15, move the 15 to the other side and factor it. Or you're gonna work like this. You're gonna get two solutions. Only two solutions. What about this one? This one has interval of solutions. Because any number you're gonna plug in here times the same number minus 2, if it's less than 15 or equal 15, is going to be a solution. So in this case, the inequality, the solution when we write down, when we have inequality, the solution is interval notation. Like the numbers between, let's say, 0 and 15. All these numbers is going to be a solution. Or the number between negative infinity and 50. All these numbers is going to be a solution. So the difference here, when I have equal, I'm going to keep in my mind the result is going to be a solution or two solutions. It depends about what we have. Quadratic, polynomial with degree 3, 4, it's going to be still 4 solutions, 3 solutions. But with inequality, I have interval of solutions. Is that okay so far? That's the difference between inequality, not just about the sign, about the solutions. So if we look at this example, I need to find the solution for this inequality. We're going to do some steps. The first thing, if I need to find the solution, I'm going to move the 15. Okay. So it's going to be x minus 2 minus 15 equal 0. Oh. It doesn't matter. Then what I'm going to do here, distribute, so x squared minus 2x minus 15 less than or equal 0. Is that okay so far? We didn't do anything. Then I can't solve this one. I need to convert the sign to equal sign to find the point, and based on these points, I'm gonna build the interval. So, okay, so we didn't do anything new. I'm going to convert the sign to what? Equal sign. Equal 0. Now, how am I gonna solve this one? By factoring, right? It's a quadratic, so I'm gonna solve it by factoring. X, 15, it's a 3 times 5. So I'm gonna put 5, 3. Negative or positive? Where? Negative, positive. That's it. This is the solution for this quadratic, not for the inequality. Okay? How am I gonna solve this one? So x minus 5 equals 0. That means x equals 5. And x plus 3 equals 0. That means x equals 3. Keep in your mind, what we did here is only for the quadratic. I need to find the points, and based on these points, I'm going to find the interval for the inequality. So next step, negative 3 and 5. Is that okay so far? Didn't do anything new. I'm gonna put these points, kind of the critical points, okay? Which I'm going to use, this is the first interval, this is the second interval, and this is the third interval. Is that okay? Now we need to check. Be careful, negative numbers before the positive. Okay? Be careful for this point. That means here is negative infinity, and here is what? Positive infinity. Yeah. I need to find the solution where? For this one. I'm going to pick any number here, and any number here. Pick a number here. Let's choose -4. Don't take -100. -4. Pick number between -3 and 5. Choose 1. I always choose 0. That's fine. Pick a number here. That's 6. Now go ahead. You're gonna help me with that. Plug in -4 here. The result less than or equal 15.
What does not?
The first one,
What does not?
okay. So -4. I'm going to plug in -4 here. So -4 and -4 minus 2, right? This down I'll call 15. -4 times -2, -6. -6 times -4, 24. Less than or equal 15. Oh, so this is wrong. That's mean from negative infinity to -3 is not a solution for this inequality. Because I picked the smallest number is not going to work. So in this case, -5 is not going to work. -6, that's it. The whole interval here is not going to be a solution. The second part we picked, 1. Let's plug in 1 here. So 1 minus 2, less than or equal 15. 1 minus 2, -1. Times 1, -1, less than or equal 15. Yes. That's mean from this point to this point is what? Is a solution. Not the one. Not the one we picked, because you can choose any number here. From this point to this point is a solution. All the numbers between -3 and 5. Now let's check the 6. 6 minus 2, less than or equal 15. 6 minus 2, 4. Times 6, 24. Less than or equal 15? No. So this is wrong. You see, we tested the interval. That's mean this one is wrong. This one is wrong. My solution between -3 and 5. So in this case, -3, get all the points between -3 and 5. Now what I'm going to put, parentheses or bracket? Why?
Starts here.
Don't say it.
Starts here and ends there.
Yeah, but why I'm going to put a bracket?
It includes.
How do you know it's include -3 or and 5?
This or equal.
Principle, there is an equal sign. So always when there is equal sign, you're going to put what? And another thing, plug in -3. If you plug in -3 here, -3 minus 2, -5, -5 times -3, 15, 15 less than or equal 15, because there is an equal. Is that okay? Let's check the 5. 5 minus 2, 3 times 5, 15. 15 less than or equal 15, because there's an equal. That's why we're going to put a bracket from both sides. Is that okay so far? Do another example. Let's do the same thing on this example. This is number 2. First thing, I'm going to say, okay, it's x minus 2 squared x plus 3 equal 0, right? Need to find the points so I can, based on these points, figure out the interval. Now, do I have to FOIL it? You don't have to, it's already factored. Why are you gonna FOIL it and factor it again? It's already factored, parentheses, parentheses, so it's going to be x minus 2 squared equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. Take the square root for both sides. So x minus 2 equals 0. That means x equals 2. On the other side, x plus 3 equals 0. That means x equals 3. Is that hard? And what are we going to do next step? Do infinity and infinity. -3 and 2. Don't flip it. It's going to be wrong because always the negative numbers before the positive numbers. Now, which number are you going to pick here? -4. Which number here? You would have 2.
0.
0. Here. I'm telling you, always when I have negative number and positive number, I pick the 0. Now let's check. Plug in -4. -4. Let's do it here. -4 minus 2 squared. -4 plus 3. That's going to be greater than 0. -2 minus -4 minus 2, -6 squared. There is 6. -4 plus 3, -1. If you multiply positive with negative, it's going to be greater than 0. No, it's going to be negative number. So this is not a solution. Let's check the other one. The 0. It's going to be 0 minus 2 squared times 0 plus 3. Is that greater than 0? 0 minus 2 is -2. Squared, 4. 0 plus 3, 3. Yes, it's sorry, greater than. Oh, this is right. And the third one is plug in 3. So 3 minus 2 squared and 3 plus 3. Is that greater than 0? 3 minus 2 is 1. Squared is going to be 1. 3 plus 3. How are we going to write down this? Write down from this number to this number, from this number to. So the solution is going to be from -3 to which number? To the 2. And from 2 to the infinity. What I'm going to put here and up here. Do you have equal sign? You have equal sign? Oh, so what are you going to put? Parentheses. So, okay, I have 2 intervals. So I'm going to connect these 2 intervals with union. That means my solution, this interval plus this one. Okay? No.
Yes.
Why we didn't put a bracket?
There's no equal sign.
There's no equal sign. If you want to check that, go ahead, plug in -3. If you plug in -3 here, -3 minus 2, -5 squared, -5 squared, 25. -3 plus 3, 0. 0 times any number, 0. Equal, greater than 0. Can you say 0 greater than 0? No, that's why we can't include -3. The same thing with 2, the same thing with 2, and all the numbers to the infinity. You get the idea? But for the easy purpose, what you're gonna do, there is no equal sign, I'm gonna put parentheses everywhere. Okay? Okay? How are we gonna solve this one? Factor. First of all, I'm gonna write down to equal. I'm gonna say 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 equals 0. Then I'm going to factor. I'm gonna factor it. I'm gonna write down here.
4x.
That works.
2x.
2x and 2x. And here is 5, and here is 5. Negative, so negative and negative 10. Negative 10, combine these together, it's going to be negative 20. So if you look to the same parentheses, I can write it down as a 2x minus 5 squared equals 0. Can I write down like this? It's the same thing. Okay? So both is going to be a solution. It's going to be right. Now, if you solve this one, 2x minus 5 equals 0, that means x equal 5 over 2, yes? And the same thing for the other parentheses is going to be the same solution. Just 2x minus 5 equals 0. That means x is going to be equal 5 over 2. So I don't have to repeat it. It's the same number. Now the question is, I have 5 over 2. Let's do the test. What do you think? Do the test. Okay? You said 2.5, so that means which number I can pick here? 3. I can pick 3 on this side. And on the other side, can I pick 0? It's fine. Now let's plug in. Go ahead, plug in the 0 here. 4 times 0, 0. Negative 20 times 0, also 0. The left is what? 25 less than or equal 0? Come on, 25 less than.
I'm sorry.
25 not less than or equal 0. So what's that mean? That means this is not a solution, the whole interval here. Let's check the 3. Go ahead and plug in 3 here, 3 here, and tell me the result less than or equal 0? Check it again.
1.
So you got 1. When you plug in the 3, you got 1. Is 1 less than or equal 0?
Yeah.
No, it's greater than 0. That means the same thing on this side. Now the question, what are you gonna say? Is there no solution? Go ahead and plug in what we have here, 5 over 2. Why I'm going to plug it? Remember, when we have equal sign, we have to plug in the boundary, like what we have here. Okay, on the other example. So we have to plug in 5 over 2. Go ahead and plug in 5 over 2 in the equations and check it's gonna be less than or equal 0. How much you gonna get? 0. So when I plug in 5 over 2 here, the result is going to be less than or equal 0, or it's going to be 0. What's that mean? That means we have only one solution, which is 5 over. That's the only solution. I don't have interval. I don't have interval on this side. I don't have interval on this side. But when I plug in the boundary point, which is 5 over 2, the result is going to be 0, which is satisfy the condition here. That's mean our solution, only one point satisfy this condition. Is that okay? So now, if you look at the same example, but there is no equal sign. So yes, we're gonna say, okay, it's 4x squared minus 20x plus 25 equals 0. Then I'm going to factor it. We can do the solution 2x minus 5 squared equals 0. That means x equal what? 5/2. It's the same steps what we did. But now the condition is there is no equal sign. So the same steps. I'm going to graph. Here's 5/2. Here is the infinity. And here is the infinity. So if I pick here the 0 and here what? The 3. Is that okay so far? It's the same steps what we did. There's no change. So we're gonna test. Now the test part. It's exactly the same previous example. That means this interval is not gonna work. This interval is not gonna work. Now what I have to check? I have to check the boundary, right? Which is 5/2. When you plug in 5/2 here, you say 4 5/2 squared minus 20 times 5/2 plus 25. How much you gonna get?
0. Well, I put the decimals. This should be the same, right?
It doesn't matter. Less than 0. The result from here is 0. 0 less than 0? No. What's that mean? No solution. Because the boundary is not gonna work. So you're just gonna type no solution. Is that okay? What about next example? Is that the same thing? Now we have a greater than or equal. It's the same steps we did here. Everything here is the same. So the boundary here, the point is going to be x equals 5/2. Right? So now I'm gonna grab the line. Here is 5/2. Here's the infinity. What's the infinity? Which number are you gonna pick here? 0. Which number here? 3. You see the same steps. Now here's the question. You're gonna plug in the 0. How much you gonna get? I think 25, right? 25 is greater than 0. So now this part is solution. Now when you plug in the 3, you're gonna get 1. 1 greater than 0? Yes, this one is gonna work. When I'm going to plug in the boundary, I'm going to get 0. 0 greater than or equal 0? Yes. So everything here is working. Intervals, the boundary. Who can tell me the solution is what?
Negative infinity to positive infinity.
That's it. That means everything from here to here. So the solution is going to be negative infinity and positive infinity. That's it. Okay. That's all. You got
I think I have it.
how much you got?
Parentheses, negative infinity to a -3 in the bracket with a u, then bracket 1 through 4, and then parentheses.
That's it. Samanya, it's a piece of cake. First of all, how are we gonna solve it? Remember the first step? It's gonna change the sign to a sign. So we're gonna say what? So x minus 1, x plus 3, over x minus 4 equal to 0. Now, how am I gonna solve this one? To find the value of x. Remember what we do here? Multiply the whole thing by what? X minus 4. We multiply by x minus 4, you're gonna cancel this part. What's the left? X minus 1, times x plus 3 equals 0. That means x minus 1 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. That means x equals 1, x equals -3. So these the point are the boundary. I told you include the asymptote. Where is the asymptote? So I'm going to say x minus 4 equals 0 and x equals 4. So instead of putting 2 points on the graph, you're going to put how many points? 3 points. So we're going to say have 1, -3, 4. So the first thing is -3, 1, and 4. That's only difference. Infinity and negative infinity. What number are you going to choose here? The 4. Here. Here. Next step, we have to plug it. Check which one is going to work. When you plug in -4 here, how is going to be? You got this part. Plug in -4.
-4, yes, I did it.
You get less than or equal 0. So this one is going to work. What about 0? It's going to work. -3 over -4, which is 3/4, not less than or equal 0. So this one is not going to work. Plug in 3, maybe 6. This one is going to work, right? What about 5?
That didn't work.
Not going to work.
Give you 32.
So in this case, our solution is going to be from -infinity to -3. Always with the infinity and negative infinity, there is parentheses on this side. Always parentheses with the infinity and negative infinity. Now I have equal sign, so I'm going to put a bracket here. Union with this side, the bracket from 1 to 4. Bracket and parentheses here.
Parentheses.
Why?
It's a 0. Wait, that's before.
When you plug in,
Or it's undefined.
4 is going to be undefined. 4 minus 4 is going to be 0, which is undefined. So that's why we're going to put parentheses on this side. Is that okay? Piece of cake. And get the 100. For example, 7. We do the same thing. Remember before what we did? You can move the 3 to the other side. Minus a 3, so how is it going to be? Oh, you can keep it, it's up to you. So x minus 5 over x minus 7 minus a 3 is going to be less than 0. Okay, now what's the next step? What I did with this step, cancel the bottom part. What I did, multiply by. So here we're going to multiply by x minus 7. X minus 7. That's mean x minus 5 over x minus 7 times x minus 7 minus a 3 times x minus 7, and everything is done. Is that okay? What's going to happen here? What's the left? X minus 5. Here, can I distribute? 3 times x, 3x. -3 times -7. You can change the sign from here, from less than to equal, because we need to solve it for x to find the boundary. Let's keep it here. Again, I'm going to change it to equal. Now combine the like terms. X minus 3x, -2x. -5 plus 21 going to be what? 16 equals 0. That means negative 2x equal negative 16. That means x equal negative 16 over negative 2. That means x equals 8. And to infinity, L to infinity, and then put, here's the 8. That's it. So no. I have to do now. That's it. Have to put the vertical asymptote. Where's the vertical asymptote? X minus 7 equals 0. That means x equal 7. So I'm going to put the 7 also as a boundary. Pick a number here. Can you choose the 0? Yeah. 7 and 8. 7.5. You can choose 9, please. Go ahead, plug in these numbers. It's going to be how much you got here? This interval is working. When you plug in 0 here, it's going to be how much you got? 0.7, which is less than 3. So this one is fine. What about 7.5? Not. So this one is. What about 9? 2, which is less than 3. That's our solution. There is no equal sign. The asymptote here. So how are we going to write down? Negative infinity, comma, to what? 7. Bracket or parentheses?
Bracket.
Okay. Union.
Bracket 8.
8 to infinity. You said bracket. On the 8, you're going to put bracket or parentheses? Parentheses. Because if you want to check, if you get confused, I'm going to put a bracket or parentheses. Plug in the 8 here. 8 minus 5, which is 3. 8 minus 7, 1. 3 over 1. 3 less than 3? No, there is no equal sign. If you get confused when I'm going to put a bracket and you're not sure, pick the number, the boundary, and plug it. If it's work, that's mean you have to put a bracket. But it's not going to work because there is no equal sign. Okay? How are we going to solve this one?
Move something.
Move the whole thing here to the 7. So 1 over plus 6 minus 3 over x minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to convert this one to what? Equals 0. The next step, how am I going to solve this one? By the least common. So I'm going to multiply by what?
X minus 2 and x plus 6.
X plus 6. So we're going to multiply by x plus 6 and x minus 2. This is the least common denominator because we have different denominators here. The common is going to be both. That's mean 1 over x plus 6 times what? X plus 6, x minus 2, minus 3 over x minus 2 times x plus 6, x minus 2. Equal to 0. So this one with this one, and so this one with this one. What's the left? 1 times x minus 2, which is x minus 2, right? And from the other side is minus 3, x plus 6, equal to the 0. x minus 2, negative 3 times x, 3x, negative 3 times 6, minus 18. We'll do this here. Combine the like terms, x minus 3, negative 2x. Negative 2 minus 18, minus 0. Move the 20 to the other side. Negative 2x equal to 20. So x is going to be equal to negative 10. Okay. Negative 10. What else I have to put? I put negative 10. What else? Asymptotes. What's the asymptote here?
6.
And here, 2. So I have to put negative 6 here. We have to put 2 here. These are also considered a boundary. Now let's check. Here, I choose negative 11. Here, negative 7. Here, 0. Here, 3. I'm going to plug in these numbers. See. So when you plug in negative 11 here, this side, greater than this side.
Yes.
Yes.
So that means this one is solution. When you plug in negative 7, did you get this side greater than or equal this side?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
No?
Oh, wait, no.
No. Okay.
It's not.
So why you said yes? This is not gonna work. When you plug in 0, minus 0, 1, 6 greater than negative 3 over 2. Yes. That's one. It's gonna be no. So what that mean? Our solution is from negative infinity to negative 10. I'm gonna put here. And this is your bracket.
Bracket.
Union. From negative 6 to 2. Parentheses or bracket. This is an asymptote.
Bracket.
On this side, this is an asymptote. So it's going to be what? You can't include the asymptote. From this side, go ahead, check if you plug in negative 6. That's a good point. This is an asymptote. No, this is not an asymptote. Our asymptote is 6 and negative 2. That's why negative 6 can be included. If you plug in negative 6 here, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. 1 divided by 0, undefined. That's why I can't put a bracket here, because this is an asymptote. The same thing with 2. If you include the 2, 2 minus 2, 0, any number divided by 0 is undefined. That's why I have to put bracket, parentheses here. Only this one is going to be. Check if you plug in negative 10, it's going to work. 100% going to work. Read number 10.
The cost C in dollars to produce X items is given by the function C
X, which is here is on the board.
If the cost is to be kept below 20, how many items may be produced?
Okay, so they're telling you the cost using this function. Don't worry about C of X. It's the same thing, f of X. Equal what we have here. We should keep the cost below what? It's just below 20 or below or equal?
Below 20.
Below 20, so that means only less than. This one is going to be less than 20. What does that mean? That means 0.5x plus 150x, 150 over x is done 20. Is that the same thing we solved them before? What's the difference? Tell me.
X on the bottom.
Of course, we have x on the bottom. That's fine. Because if you check the other words also, we have x on the bottom. That's a good point. But we have decimal here. The tricky part is here. 0.5 is the same thing half. So this part is look like 1 over 2x. No, that's wrong.
1 over 2
X. X is still on the top.
times x.
Yeah, 1 over 2 times x. You can write that like this. So plus 150 over x less than 20. Is that okay? 1 times x. Can I write it down like this? Oh no. Now next step. Let's change the sign to equal. Maybe I get confused. Keep it less than or equal, don't confuse yourself. Now how are we going to solve this one? What's the least common denominator? Okay, 2, 1. No, that's right. 2 from this side. But I have an x. So if I need to cancel the 2 and the x, I have to multiply by what?
So we gotta bring it over first or not yet?
What was it again?
We gotta bring the 20 over first.
Oh yeah. Okay, about that 20. Okay. X over 2 plus 150 over x minus 20 over 0. So we're gonna multiply by 2x. That means x over 2 times 2x. It's 150 over x times 2x. Minus 20 times 2x equal 0. Cancel the 2 with the x. What we have now? X squared plus 150 times 2, 300 minus 20 times 2. Now, how are we going to solve this one? See again? See again? What did you say? Yes, we're going to factor, but how?
The square.
No, we're going to factor. She said we're going to factor. It's fine. That's totally right. But how am I going to factor this one? I have to do something before factoring. Let's find anything. Think about that.
Reorganize the number.
See it again?
Reorganize the number.
So we have to rewrite from the highest exponent to the lowest one, right? Because this is the constant, should be the last number. So we have to write it down as an x squared minus 40x plus 300 equal what? Now we go into factor it. Open. So parentheses. What? 0. Now tell me. I'm sure x here, x here. I'm going to put on both sides to get 40. It's a 300. Come on. It's a 300 here, right? Which is equal which number times which number? We need to factor it, right?
10 and 3, or 10 and 30.
10 and 30. 10 times 30 is going to be 300. So we're going to put minus 10 and minus 30. God, that's it. Minus 10x minus 30x is going to be 24. So Now x minus 10 going to be equal 0. That means x equal 10. X minus 30 is going to be equal 0. That means x equal 30. 10, 30, negative infinity, and this positive infinity. What number here? To 0. Here to 20. Here to 30. So here, which number you have pick? It's fine. Tell me which one is going to be the right. You got it? You plug in 0, it's going to work.
Undefined because of the.
When you plug in 0, it's going to be undefined. So I can't choose this interval. Even if you change it to 1, it's not going to work because 150 divided by 1, 150 is going to be less than 20, impossible. What about 20? 17? Yeah, which is okay. Don't worry about that. 17 over 17.5 less than 20? Yes, that's it. Plug in theory 1.
20.5. 20.5.
20.5. You see, 20.5. This is the 0.5. It means it's not less than a 20. So this is not going to work. So the solution is going to be. You check 10 on theory.
I checked 10, it gives you 20, and 20 is not equal to 20.
Yes. So that's mean parentheses. Perfect. I don't think so. Theory is going to work. So this one is going to be our solution. It's about between 10 and. Check theory. Check theory. Make sure.
Maybe 20.
View 20 also.
Yeah, so it's parentheses.
You have an equal sign.
Oh,
So there's an equal sign. You can't say 20 is done. Another 20. Have to put parentheses.
I have a question. So is this a fraction? Does it have a, what you call it, a vertical asymptote or no?
That's a good point. Yes, it has vertical asymptote when x equal.
Whatever number you put, it's
No.
when it equals to 0.
Because you can say that that's a good point. X equals 0. It's an asymptote. But check where's the. We want to choose the 0. We can't choose the 0. That's mean 0 is a boundary. That's a really good point. That's mean we have to include here. It's not gonna work. But we have to include the 0 as a boundary. And all the numbers here is not gonna work. Okay, if you choose 1 here, if you choose -1, both these is not gonna work. Everything here is not gonna work, only between 10 and 30. Perfect.